Hey everyone, this is Wild and Woolly Gaming coming to you live from the middle of nowhere, the center of everywhere. And before I get into this video, I want to say thanks to Connor, my buddy Connor, for getting me this amazing microphone. It really sounds excellent. Thanks, dude. Okay, now let's get into the nitty-gritty of this. I have been thinking of some ways to improve War Thunder. Now, these aren't fixes to War Thunder, you know, like the hashtag Fix War Thunder campaign. Rather, these are ways to improve the content either by changing it or adding to it. And I find that there's a lot of older things in this game that could really be improved simply by just changing them. So I'll get into the meat and potatoes of it now. First, and I want to make this clear, there's a difference between improving a game and fixing it. Of course, by fixing something, it becomes improved, but in the absence of issues to be fixed, improving a game typically means the addition or changing of content in said game. Of course, War Thunder has many issues that can be fixed, but again, I'll mention that in another video, and that will be a longer video than this because there's enough issues to be fixed. So, to start, some features in this game really have been virtually unchanged for years. Personally, I love test flight in this game, and I feel that test flight needs a revitalization. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that rather than just simply taking off and landing at an airport, or if you're in a tank, you just simply shoot at a few tanks, I feel that there should be some variability. Almost kind of like a mission editor in a way, except not with mission editor. Not in the way that is. Not something that active. I like the mission editor idea, but rather than that, maybe we should have something where we can test fly, where we can do that, but for vehicles that we don't have. You know, for example, maybe you can set up your own map, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Rather than have like the same boring map for tanks, you can change it up and say, hey, I want to do like a test in the Berlin map or whatever, and just have stationary tanks here, there, wherever, and you can set up which tanks you want and where you want them, up to X amount of tanks. And the same idea goes for planes, right? So you can set up which airfield that you want, and you can also set it up that you can have whatever target you want. I mean, it gets very difficult to judge which bombers you want to research when you only have one target to fight against, which typically ends up being a medium tank. So maybe we can have the introduction of bases that you can go after in test flight. And that brings me to my next point. So I think that we should have greater base variability. As it stands, bases are essentially just plots of land with buildings and on them and a health bar over top. This is serviceable, but it creates a repetitive experience. While adding new base types can be risky, so to speak, I think it'll ultimately pay off. Maybe we should have ammo dumps with big explosions, train yards and depots, factories, headquarters, bunker complexes, I think would be amazing. And let's say these bunker complexes require special bombs. Cough, cough, maybe the earthquake bomb. That would be an awesome feature to have. Maybe make that a special game mode, right? Sure, there will be some bases that people would hate to face, right? I mean, with any new features, some people will hate them. But maybe just make it so that there's a reasonable secondary objective aside from just, you know, the basic destroying all ground units secondary objective that there is now. And to this point, I think that these should interact with ground forces, right? So with ammo dumps and railways, for example, you can have them so that they might act as a control point, or as a reloading, repair, or even a recrew station. We should also see the addition of hazards that can kill your tanks, like if you're capturing said ammo depot, you can be hit by an explosion where if an enemy shoots an ammo crate next to you or near you, it could damage or kill you. I think that'd be really fun. You know, maybe have it so that there's automatically firing artillery from that base, and then that can fire at the enemy base that you're trying to weaken. I think that'd be really fun, right? That would make it so that the tickets on top it actually gives you a physical thing to show, hey, I need to capture this control point, because then it'll give me artillery, which will then weaken their tickets, right? I think that'd be so cool, because that's a physical representation of you beating the enemy team. Further adding functional railways would also be useful to new maps. I don't think that you should be adding them to old maps, but, just because, we all hate railroad tracks, just going over them, because more or less they're a pseudo-obstacle. And that sucks. It really sucks. That being said, I want to get to my last point, and I think this is a really cool idea. This one I got from Reddit. It's a really cool idea. And I was also inspired by other posts for the previous idea when it comes to greater base variability. But that's been floating around War Thunder for over a half decade now. So, hardpoints. We should have adjustable hardpoints. Allow us to choose the loadout rather than have some cookie cutter predetermined loadout. So what do I mean by this? Why should you have to have two 1,000-pound bombs and a 500, or more likely two 500s and a 1,000-pound bomb on your fighter, when you could say, hey, why can't I just equip rockets this and have a bomb underneath, right? That might be something. Or with Germans, even though it might not be historically accurate, and I know this game is supposed to be big into history, rather than have maybe two 20s or two 30s, switch it up. Have one 30 millimeter attached to your plane and 120 attached to your plane. I think a lot of people would go for that. I know for me, personally, I love the idea of having greater ammo capacity and a better chance of hitting with the 20, but if I had a 30, maybe that would make it so that I'm a more lethal anti-bomber, fighter than I would be if I just had 20s. And I think that would be an awesome sort of thing to have in this game. And again, you can extend that to actual bombs and all that. It doesn't have to be limited to just hard points when it comes to when it comes to cannon attachments. So anyways, those are my ideas for the game. I think, or some of Reddit's ideas for the game, but I really think that these would help the game tremendously. Tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you guys have any good ideas that would probably improve this game? Do you think my ideas are trash? Let me know. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, for listening, and see you guys in the sky. Take care.